Hi everybody, welcome to Bello's Designs. My name is Catherine and today I'm going to show you how I created this shimmery pink and red tag for Valentine's Day. I'm calling this one With Love From Me to You. Let's talk about the supplies we need for today's project. These are the supplies that you'll need for today's project. I have a tag cut out using hot press watercolor cardstock, and I used my Tim Holtz framelits tags. This is the second tag from the largest in that set, so we'll be using that. I have Lavinia stamps. I'll be using the With Love stamp, and this is the Heartfelt Verses, which is LAV 677. I'll be using these two acrylic sprays. I have Claret and Cranberry Red, Mica Minerals in Pink Velvet and Regal Red. I have a sponge for blending my Versamark ink, as well as just a few random pieces of yarn, and I have the sparkly sequin thread from my stash, so I'll be using that at the top of my tag. We'll be using our Lavinia stencil, and this one is called Replenish, as well as VersaFine Claire in Nocturne, and then of course the Versamark. Let's pull it all together and get started. To start my project today, I am going to use a combination of Cranberry Red and the Claret spray to add some color to my tag. Since I'll be stamping on this, you'll want to find the top side of your tag or whichever side is smoother. And so we'll start with the Cranberry Red spray. Just give it a couple of sprays and then move into the Claret. And then some water to spray the top. And let's just move it along. And if you wanted to, you could use your heat tool to dry this or let it dry. I am going to speed things up with my heat tool. Our tag is dry, so I have gone ahead and placed my stencil over my tag, and I'm going to come back with my Versamark and my blending sponge and just add that ink right onto the tag. So you just want to make sure that it's dry because we're going to add our mica into these spaces where we have use some Versamark, and I'm going to leave a little space here empty because I want to make sure that I have a nice open area to add my sentiment. Do this little one here. All right, there we go. And I can see that I have an open space to add my With Love stamp. So the next thing I'm going to do is take my fan brush and my mica, and we're just going to add a little bit of the mica minerals to these areas on the tag. So if you have a small tool with a spatula, that works really well. Just sprinkle it on top. going to randomly add that. And let's go into the other one. So we'll get a nice little mix of these two colors. And then just use your fan brush to spread it around. Now we have that shimmery, sparkly heart tag. So I've gone ahead and added my sentiment to my block, and I'm going to stamp it using VersaFine Clear and Nocturne, and we'll add it right to the bottom corner of our tag. Okay, now we can come back with our fibers. So this is just an eyelash yarn that I picked up at a local bargain store. And I'm going to add that along with the sequin thread from my stash. I like to just go in from the front and then pull through this loop. Then we have a nice neat knot showing in the front. Part. And once we've got it through, I'm just going to line it up with the sequins so they're all about the same length and trim off the extra. I want to thank you for joining me today and remind you that if you're not already a member of our Facebook groups, we welcome you to join us at Bello's Designs Lounge for all projects made using Lavinia stamps, and Bello's Designs a la carte for any projects made using Cardio, Sweet Poppy, Nellie's Choice, or any other stamp lines Bello's sold. See you soon. You might have noticed at the end of my video that I had a lot of mica minerals left on my blending mat. So I came back with an offcut of multifarious cardstock. I used the cranberry red spray for the background and mixed it with a little bit of water to just kind of tone it down a bit. And then I dried it using my heat tool. I next sprayed my mat with my water to begin cleaning up the minerals that were stuck to it. And so I pressed it down to mop up as much as I could. There was still a lot left, so I came back and watered it down some more and used my fan brush to add a little bit of sparkly shimmer. So be looking to see what I make later using this piece of cardstock.